How's everybody doing? Listen, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. I supposed to go today to the surgeon and get the stuff going. I show up at 7 in the morning, got up at 6, and they turned me away. And Miss Farmer did everything. She did everything to get this appointment. Everything. I told her, what am I supposed to do? Are you going to leave me? This is the third time that you've canceled. You don't call me. It's been 2 months. This infection could have killed me. Do you guys understand? You know, no emotion, no empathy, no compassion. And I'm like, we're supposed to be better than this. Thank God. Thank God. I'm the motherfucker that I am. Because I went out into the street, got me the street drugs to take care of it. Had I sat and waited for these motherfuckers, I would have been dead in New York, in my own state, and my own dentist, and my own orthodontist and oral surgeon. The people in Texas saved my life. The dentist in Texas saved my life. Keisha Farmer saved my life. When she saw that they weren't doing shit for me in New York, she got me out of here and took me back to Texas. And they found the infection that my doctors here, who were supposed to be the best in the world, Columbia School of Dental and Oral Surgery, failed me. And they're failing me again. So, another strike from Saturn. But I am grateful. Alhamdulillah. I am grateful that I'm not in pain. I did my prayers because I haven't been in pain for a good 2 months. But I've been taking a month and a half of ibuprofen, 600 milligrams, 2,000 plus milligrams a day. That's not good to take NSAIDs like that for too long. And I'm not a pill popper. And these drugs are dangerous, you know, for the heart, stroke, you know, with NSAID drugs, which is what Tylenol, ibuprofen, and all of it. It's a type. Contain things that can eventually kill you if prolonged use. But I had to. This motherfucker was so bad that it was making my heart palpitate. Now, when it gets to that point, nigga, come on. And the Grim Reapers around the corner? Well, I told you, life is a soap opera. Fun to watch, not so cute when you have to live it, and you're the star. Everyone is a star in their own soap opera. The soap opera of life. Now, I'm just annoyed. I'm not scared, I'm annoyed. Because had it been somebody else, what? I did not even go to bed. I haven't slept for 2 days. Because I've been putting things together. The school opens on the 1st of July. And I already got students are paying and coming in before it gets filled. So between that, closing the birth charts, dealing with my situation here, trying to get my place in order, and then my place in Houston. There's lots of changes, flux. My career is changing, my body is changing. So all of these is, and the second Saturn return is always the scariest. You guys don't worry about your first Saturn return if you're below 30. The most he can do, if you're not ready, go a little pow-pow. But I don't feel that any of you are in any sort of real trouble. I don't. I did on Instagram and I posted it. The reason why I'm still in good health and look great is all of your prayers help, and they do. I don't know if you guys believe in the power of prayer, but you guys praying have kept me in check, has kept me good, because I don't have any worries. I really don't. I'm just annoyed because this is no way for public service. Now, if it happens again, this is what a Virgo would do. I call the state dental board. or the State Dental Association. Write them a letter. The best weapon besides the sword is the pen. My mother, who's an Aries, taught me that. She goes, Fernando, there's a better way to fight a war, and it's the war with the pen. You can do that, you can fight and conquer any war. From my Aryan mother told me that. And I never lost a complaint, a lawsuit, a battle that I did in a letter to her, a testimony. And I may have to then CC it to a couple of powerful organizations, because this is like a breaching protocol. No, but then again, given how things have been going, I might not even get through. So, let me do what I do best. Do my readings, do my charts, and I'm going to live my health and my life up to God. Oh, God, I'm getting rusty. I feel like the Tin Man. I need some oil rust. Oh, and then the archons. Oh, they could be so annoying. So annoying. I just don't know. But you have to evolve them. What can you do? You have to evolve them. Well, anyway, I got my coffee. I got my corn muffin. And let me put my music. And let's begin. But first, because I do need me a spliff. After what I had to go through, please. Go. Okay. Okay, well, I forgot the, there it is, the lighter. It is hot in New York City today. Oh, I am sweating. Hot. And the humidity is hot. It's hot. Feeling hot. Oh my goodness. Well, here's my spliff. And I don't feel like, it's so hot. Why did I buy hot coffee? Well, I like hot coffee. With my cornbread, I hate cornbread with cold coffee. Who does that? Anywho, it's about time you guys understand a thing or two about the sheep and the initiate and the adept. There are 3 levels of human evolution. But there are 5 types of human beings. And I talked about it before in other videos, and I break it down on in my website, thepeoplesastrologer.com, where they have different headers. I have Whitney Houston, Bobby Christina, Whitney Spears, now I have a couple of, people from the 90s or from the 2000s around there. That's when I did those entries. And I have a few older ones like Donald Trump. I have Donnie Depp, a couple of them private ones of you guys. Some of you guys I'm writing and I'm putting in the website. For those of you who have been charted, I'm putting some of your case studies in the website. And the picture, but not your picture. I put a representational picture of you, but not a real picture, unless you want to. I have one there of Oprah Winfrey. You should read Oprah Winfrey's birth chart information. Not so much because of Oprah Winfrey. I did talk about Oprah Winfrey in her header, but I mentioned what type of woman she is as far as the different groupings of humans and then the different levels of evolution. There's 5 groupings of humans and 3 levels of evolution. And I talked about the 5 levels of human beings, where they're at in the human condition. But I didn't talk about the 3 levels of evolution. These 5 groups of humans fall within these 3 evolutionary stages. And Two of them is the heading of this series, of this entry. The sheep and the initiate. What is it? What is an initiate? What is a sheep? We are going to talk about that today. But first, let us put, the beat. Give me a beat. Listen, I need a little beat. After that disappointment, thank God Allah that I'm not in pain. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. But let me tell you, it is too damn hot. I cannot even drink the coffee. Let me see if I can drink some sour sap. Yeah, I take a lot of your advices, guys. I bought me some sour sap. I drink natural juices. And I haven't had a drink. I had to have a drink on Friday when I cracked both of these tooth down here. The pain was so bad. Oh, Lord. And it wasn't even nerve pain. Which, for all intents and purposes, is far more worse than nerve pain. That's the one that can fucking give you a heart attack if it's the right nerve. Because a lot of people don't realize that the teeth has more than one nerve. One teeth can have 7 nerves. Another teeth can have 14. And one nerve root can have 10 teeth. And if you have a cavity in one of those teeth, it's like a ricochet. All the teeth are affected. Oh my goodness, let me tell you. It's very humbling. The gods can kill us in 101 ways. Oh, yeah. Well, thank God I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And thank God that I'm actually pretty calm about these things, except when the comes. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to music to put on, to begin. Okay, here we go. I believe. Okay. Oh, yeah, guys. I'm sorry that it's quite nuisance. I don't see the music. It's been quite, now, what's going on here? It's always something. I'm going to get to you guys. Whatever. They move my website around, and they always make these changes. You get too old sometimes, to be looking at all these things that they do here, all these changes, man. I would say leave my site alone, let me do the changes. But that's Vistaprint. They do that a lot. Okay, I'm typing it in. I never had to do that before, but Oh yeah, Saturn. I tell you. Non-forgiving. Trying to put on the music, cannot see the music selection. Because I can do videos on YouTube on my laptop. Brand new laptop, won't let me do it. Or Zoom. Just the obstacles have been very powerful. The opposition, the adversity. But again, it's a way of reinventing yourself. You got to reinvent yourself. Why is it? Oh, God, I don't know what's going on. They don't want to learn. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to find it. Guys, please be patient with me. Because, I got to have my music. Come on. There we go. Motherfuckers. Sorry about that, but come on. They take everything. Don't take my music. Let me have something. Right? Between you guys and my music, I've been pretty cool. I have put no fights or resistance in changing to There's a season for every time and a time to every season. And my alcohol season is over, obviously. No, not even weed have I been drinking. I don't even know what I did with the weed anyway. I've been fasting so much. I don't know what I did with the weed. Because it doesn't take but a minute. And these alkynes, if you don't pay attention, they will take the trick stuff. Constantly, You know how it is. Okay. Oh, good. Now, let us go and say hello to every single one of you. To see who's here. Let's see who's here. Cancer. No, Sagittarius, okay, hello. Uh-huh. How do you fix your sacral chakra? You got a camp and you need a damp. You have a damp, you need a camp. Something like that. You need a smoky quartz crystal. See right here? This is a smoky quartz crystal. You need to put this underneath between the rectum and I guess what they call the G-spot, but anatomically it's in the above the sacral. Right now I can't remember the sex part, the orange part. Can you believe that? I don't remember right now. Well, the vagina and the G-spot, what they call, it's all the way in the center and above on the cervix. The bone actually can guide you to it. Very difficult to spot that in a female underneath the sacral. They say that a man has a G-spot, and it is exactly between the rectum and the penis, right that center in between. That for the man is the sacral. For the female, I would not recommend the sacral. The sacral is more for the man. The other chakra, the sex chakra itself, that's for the female. That's the orange. Okay? So here, you will need this stone right here. You have to get up behind the veil. Okay. This one here. It's a lodestone. It's a lodestone. It looks like an onyx stone, or what's the volcanic rock, obsidian. Obsidian, which is volcanic rock, very dangerous stone. It has a lot of demonic properties. I very rarely do I use it. It's used in Ouija boards and in pentagrams. Sometimes when I'm gonna cleanse my pentagram or pentacle, I put it on top by the moon, And sometimes I hear sounds and voices coming out of it, like a demonic thing, like, oh yeah. I don't use obsidian or volcanic glass too often. But for the chakra, the lodestone, it will have to be. There are other ones, so you just text me or email me, fernandoprudhomme@gmail. And Keisha Farmer is like a specialist in this area. She has tons and tons and tons and tons of all kinds of stones and semi-precious stones. That's one of her gifts. because, it's taking care of the minerals. The minerals are alive, These are living beings. These are living beings. They come from a different life wave than we do. It doesn't have a vital body. We have a vital body. This doesn't have a vital body. And doesn't have a consciousness either. It's like a sleep state. So, if it's really an issue, let me know. And we'll do something about that. But that's how you fix the root chakra, is the smoky quartz. If you're a man. Like if you have problems with erectile dysfunction, impotency, if a woman did witchcraft so that you think don't get up, some women do that, especially in the Latin culture. A series of tonics to clean the man from within. And then the crystal, he has to wear it for 7 days underneath his crotch, and it has to be charged and everything. It's a process to heal the sacral chakra. All of them have their own stones for that, right? I'm a Libra Sun, Cancer Moon, Pisces. Great, excellent. Yeah, love Sag. How can I what? Find my root chakra? As the root chakra is underneath the 2 legs, underneath the in between the rectum, in between the vagina and the rectum. Ba ba ba. Ba ba da ba ba ba. Okay. Who else? What else? Sending positive energy, love, and like, thank you. Uncle, love you, sending you so much love. Yes, thank you. And I feel it. Don't think I don't. I do. I do. And we have here, thank you. Hope you're better soon, Uncle. No, I want to get out of this. I want to be over this so I can go back home to Texas. Good morning. ¿Qué te pasa a ti? ¿Qué te pasa a ti? Ismael Rivera, ¿qué te pasa a ti? ¿Qué te pasa a ti? Well, I mean, you got to be happy. You got to get listen. What did I tell you? What did Uncle Fernando tell you? Life is 25% what happens to you and 75% how you respond. And I choose to respond positively, knowing that I am God in human form. And although this is an illusion, it does matter. And I treat it with respect. The alcohol has done some tremendous damage to my body quietly. But this is my chance to turn it around. And I already have. Because it always begins here. And then everything else follows. Yes, I took a beating. And we are just starting the return. We are before the return. We're in the prelude. So if this is a prelude, damn, when it fucking hits. But you get an idea of how it's going to be when things are happening either a good direction or in a bad direction. I like to say that things for me so far have been going in a good direction because they found something that could have killed me or gave me sepsis, and no doctor in the world would have saved my life. You don't come back from sepsis. So these are the quiet killers that was happening in my body while I was having fun. So silent here spared my life. So that means I still got stuff to do. So I was given a pass. I hope, I think so. I think so. Now, let's talk about the 3 levels of evolution that human beings fall in. There are, let's say, 5 billion human beings on the planet. They're not all the same in mind, in body, and in spirit. Not all human beings are the same mentally or intellectually. There are people that will look at me, and they do, and they'll go, look at this clown. Look how he walks and look at that. He's a clown. What's he doing? What do you think? And people don't know that when I look at you, if I really want to, I can focus and find out what you're thinking. There are witches that can read thoughts. I could do it, but I drink too much alcohol, and that impairs that. But now that I stopped the drinking, those faculties begin to develop. So I already know and feel what you are and who you are and what do you think about me. I'm a different type of human. Oh, B. Understand that when you're born here, if this is your first time being born as a human, that calls you a virgin spirit. A virgin spirit is a virgin spirit that becomes a human for the first time, brand new to earthly life. And then you have those humans who come many times. Oh, that's it. Not the plane's taking off. The plane's taking off. So I understand that this group of people who've been here for a long time, keep coming and reincarnating for a long time, have developed all kinds of experiences. They've been a man, they've been a woman, they've been white, they've been black, they've been a child, they died suddenly, they died of old age, they've been killed, they went through all the different episodes that this life we call a soap opera has to offer. So between that soul A, who's been here a long time, and the newly arrived soul, the virgin spirit, are they going to understand each other? Are they going to respect each other? Will the virgin spirit understand the wisdom of this who has reincarnated thousands of times? Will the experienced human who's been here a long time be adept enough to know that he's looking at a sheep or not? Is he a sheep or not? Juicy. So understand that you have then other souls who come here a long time, but don't learn the lessons. So now they're compounding karma after karma after karma. These are your evil types of humans that kill people and do all kinds of things, and are evolving the wrong direction. Then you have another groupings of humans who also come here many times, many times, learn all that there is to learn to be a human. So by all intents and purposes, they should be able to go to the light and not come back to this motherfucker. But they will come back if they'll come back to be people like me, healers, shamans, astrologers. I fall in that category. I've been here many times. That's why business comes easy to me. That's why money comes easy to me. I know school and learning, I've done all this before. Many times. So now, it's like the gods tell you, okay, Fernando, you've been to Earth over 3.5 trillion years. In space, there is no time relativity. There's no time in space. So time is relative. So one day could be 1,000,000 years. Or 1,000,000 years can be 1 minute. Or a minute can last a lifetime. It's relative. If it's 1 year, you can distinguish it from 1,000 years. Because time does not exist outside of this. This globe is where we have the illusion of time. So understand that being so experienced, you come back as a healer. You don't want to go back to the source because you have too much to offer. You got so much experience. Why don't you go back and help those like the virgin spirit that are newly coming in and require orientation and guidance? This is also a job of the shaman, is to distinguish the different levels of evolution of every human being and assess what they're capable of learning and absorbing and what they cannot, and set the cycle for the next life to pick up from where they left off. The birth chart also shows these things in detail. Oh. Okay, so when you have 90% of people that follow the laws of the land, we call them sheep. Jupiter, the king of the gods, has universal laws. Understand that in space or in the heavens with the gods, Jupiter is the king of the gods, and he sets the laws of the gods in heaven. Saturn makes man-made laws of man to govern himself down here on the earth. This is Saturn's authority, and this is his portion. He provides authority, discipline to the inhabitants here on earth, including all the other kingdoms. It's under his dominion. So he controls man-made laws, while Jupiter creates godly laws that governs the heavens. And severity, mercy, and justice belong to Saturn. He's the judge and the executioner, ordained by Jupiter, the king of the gods. So again, we can say that Saturn is like the warden of a prison system. But the one who owns the prison system is Gaia. If we're going to be twisted for a minute, right? Just for analogy's sake. So now let me tell you the three levels of evolution of that human beings fall in. There you go. Now it's done. You gotta get out of the system. I haven't even lit the split yet. The three levels of human evolutions are the sheep, the initiate, and the adept. Where do you fall in? Are you an initiate? Are you a sheep? Or are you an adept with plenty of experience behind you? Well, let's go backwards. An adept. Really? You just want to make attention. The adept is the trained magician, the trained clairvoyant, shaman, astrologer. He could be all of them or one of them. And that is the best gift that he has to offer humanity, the sheep. The adept is the keeper of mystery. He's another gatekeeper. But to get to the adept, you have to be initiated into the mysteries. The Masons have an initiation ceremony. When I was baptized as a Babalawo, Yoruba, high priest or Orishas, I also had to go through a ceremony very similar to the Masonic ceremony. Well, of course, because I carried the star of masonry. And my great-great-great-grandfather was a mason and all the men below him, including myself and my twin brother and my oldest brother. Not our sisters, but our brothers. So the Masonic runs in my family for many generations. Since the start and founding of the country, Dominican Republic. So yes, so my lineage goes very far. And in my family, we have people who are members of the ruling class and are part of the elite of the Dominican Republic. So understand that there is a sense of responsibility on a collective level that the adept has. The adept is supposed to teach on a public forum or in public platforms to reach the masses. The adept is not here to learn all of what he knows, which can take a lifetime. It took me 20 years to learn astrology. 20 good years. It's a lot of years. So how much years do I have left to practice astrology? So what I'm saying is that there has to be a sacrifice in order for you to enter as an initiate, and then another sacrifice to enter into adepthood. The sacrifice, if the sheep wants to leave the herd mentality and move towards individuation, which is initiation, then the sheep has to begin to read. People don't read anymore. If the sheep, anyone in the sheep, stumbles across a book of the occult, it could be astrology, it could be numerology, something real basic. Because everybody knows about astrology, numerology, and even people who don't believe in it know about it. They can even go to a section of the bookstore and get it, and they know where it is. It's that common now. But was not so common. They made me sorry about that. A fluke. You know when you are ready to leave the herd. In this lifetime, I don't think any one of you are members of the sheep. If you're watching my channel, you are about to leave the sheep. A la curida. Okay? You're going to leave. At some point in your evolution and reincarnation, you graduate from the herd mentality, where everything is given to you, where you follow directions, where you do what's expected of you from the minute you get up to the minute you go to bed. Your life is mapped out for you. So understand that you have a process to go through when you reincarnate here. You just don't reincarnate and you just sit down and just no. You reincarnate many times because you are in the process of evolution, of reaching a state of evolution that advances your soul further and further up the spiral. That was easy. If you don't see my channel, if you saw my channel and you didn't like what you saw, like there are people who they go, Fernando, I love your channel. I love the information. Wow, yummy. They made me, but how do I put this? Because this is such an individual experience and a personal experience that you cannot quantify something like that. Every human being that's a herd or sheep, what does it mean to be a sheep? Maybe I should define that a little bit more succinctly. A sheep means that you are basically kind of like a robot. And I don't mean a robot in the sense that you are non-feeling, non-emphatic. No, it could be okay or it could not be. But that's not the basis for making that definition or determination. Of course, the sheep has to be exposed to occult material or have a desire to learn about it. Not necessarily to do anything with it, but becomes aware that there's another side to life. Maybe the sheep has been accustomed to observing and noticing the sun. But for the first time in its series of reincarnations, it has observed the moon. But the moon has always been there. But in consciousness, that being was not ready to see that moon there. Just focus on the sun being there. So you can say that being a sheep, which also means having a herd mentality, means that you are kind of like unaware of who you are, unaware of where you're in and why you're here. We also have another name for that, and we call it primary life. That's another grouping of humans. So we got 3 evolutionary states. The sheep, which is the herd mentality, the initiate, which is the individuation process, and the adept, which is the magician, the ultimate magician. And you have 2 psychological orientation to these 3 evolutionary states, and that's primary existence and antithetical existence. Primary existence is when you're born a sheep and you don't know that there's a spiritual life besides this physical life. You don't know if God exists or not. You don't believe in spirit. You don't believe in astrology. You don't believe in nothing that's spiritual. If you can't see it, if you can't touch it, if you can't taste it, if you can't smell it, if you can't feel it, it's not real to you. There are people that tell me, get the fuck out of here, you fucking witch. I don't believe in that stuff. I don't believe in that stuff. Get out of here. That's a sheep. And his hostility towards astrology and people like me who represent that is defined by fear. Fear imposed on that mentality through the church, which demonizes astrology and everything else that's the occult. So it teaches the sheep to hate that, see it as evil or demon, and refute people like us, that we are part of that demonology. And the herd follows the authority, because that's part of the job of the herd, is to follow the authority and to give respect to the established order of government of the day. Because both the government and the sheep need each other. They're codependent to each other. And this can lead to a sadomasochistic relationship between government and its people. Ooh. This is the African, Afro-Cuban part. After the Middle Passage. Delicious. So, understand that there is a process to evolving from the herd mentality or the sheep or the animal state into human conscious state, and then from there to God. That's another trinity. Animal, God, human, and then God. Then we go back and don't come back. Unless you come back as a healer, because you have now experienced you, but to the younger souls being born in. Replacing those that leave the herd to go into individuation, then the virgin spirits re-enter the herd, and the proportion that they enter is the proportion that's leaving. Everything is synchronized. Okay? So, the sheep is almost 98% primary. The 2% of the sheep are leaving the herd and entering the process of individuation. This second category of humans are the non-initiates. That's the next series of incarnations. The 2% left of the 98 of the sheep, those 2% are in a transition period where they're being exposed to it, and their whole existence, that 2%, is to go through a conflicting set of opposites, the good and the bad of both polarities. The person will experience the good part of spirituality and the bad and ugly part. And of course, he will determine if they are real or not, and if they exist to influence the other. There could be lifetimes just to be born, just to pontificate this next move. These people that are born in this 2% gap before entering the initiate are at gate's door. They are either paralyzed with fear and are born here, and they have all kinds of anomalies, all kinds of allergies, lupus, autoimmune diseases, autism. No, there is a gray area here, or even schizophrenia, where the soul has to choose which direction to go. And when it chooses that direction, there is no unchoosing it. This is what causes people so much fear, to delve into the dark and unknown, even though they know there's something in them that pulls them. And that something in them that pulls them is the soul letting them know, look, bitch, you've already gone through all kinds of experiences. Now you got to choose if you're going to go into the spirit world, or are you going to go back to being a sheep? Because you've learned what you needed to learn as a sheep. So if you go back, you're going backwards. So now the person who's at the tail end of the sheep consciousness is terrified and struggling whether he should reincarnate, entering initiates or not. What ends up happening is that the universe decides for you. So then you're born into the initiate category, having been in the sheep category for so long, that now you are here to learn like a baby all that there is to learn and absorb concerning the spiritual. And the initiate stage has 3 sub-levels within it. Like the sheep has 3 sub-levels within it, and the adept has 3 sub-levels within it. So, going with the second level, there has to be a reason why you're going to initiate. What are you going to do with what you learn? Because with occult knowledge, you just cannot take occult knowledge and just sit on with it. Some information you can, but most of it you can't. If you are exposed to occult information, 9 times out of 10, it's some serious stuff, like what you see here in my channel. And you have to do something with that. You just cannot sit on that. That energy can be very dangerous and eat at the psyche of a person. That's why some people become insane, lose their minds. With too much intelligence in the head and truths that can wear down the flesh. It's just in Proverbs, much studying wearies the flesh. So you can go crazy. Are you going to teach, or are you going to be a practitioner? Depending on which category you choose, the initiate, you cannot go back to the sheep. If you're on the brink of leaving the sheep and you're in that 2%, you can go back. But by the time you're born again a few times, you'll be forced into that. You'll be born a Pisces. And Pisces, when they're young, they see everything. They can't stop it. They can't. So, you have someone that may be conflicted. They read about astrology or the occult, but they keep their 9 to 5. And parties in their downtime, he's like the famous parlor astrologer. What's your child? What's your birthday? That's an initiate. He doesn't know it though, but he's an initiate at the low level. At the second level of the initiate, he has developed an organized structure of occult information that he has decided that he's going to follow and stick to. Me, I've been to that stage already. I've been to the first stage. I've been to the second stage of initiation. I chose to be a monk where I practice no sex, no carnal desires, where in those lifetimes I control the desire body. Da, 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 da. Café. No, ¿cómo es? Caliente café. Ay, caliente café. Un poquito de café. It's Mary Rivera. I'm fire. So, understand that. Oh, let me tell you something else too about musicians. Now that I talked a little bit, all musicians, Mary J. Blige, Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, and the likes. These are not sheep. These are initiates, but they are probably on the second level, or they might be on the third level of initiation. When they stop doing their acting, they leave and they can go to the library, or they're very scholarly. One person that was like that people did not know was Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was a beautiful actress that people thought she was a stupid, dumb dimbat. But I just fucked up the lyrics on that. El negrito bembón. Understand that Marilyn Monroe knew and had books on Malcolm X, the black civil rights leader. She had books on Martin Luther King. She was a very, very smart woman. And she was a member of the club. She was an initiate. That's how she got close to Kennedy, or the Kennedys. And her death, understand that when you leave the sheep and you enter the initiate stage, the first stage is you're dibbling dabbling. There could be many lifetimes that you're born. Dibbling dabbling. But every lifetime you learn a little more, and you're a little more closer. Then you're born on the third level of initiation. And in that third incarnation is where Marilyn Monroe was when she was born as a soul here. People like Asian aliens, they talk about this stuff. All those professors and all those people, they are initiates at the third level. Okay, so the initiation that could take lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes. And negrito bembón. So understand that now we move from the initiate stage to the adepthood. Here in the adepthood, maybe 5% of the 5 billion or trillion humans on the earth belong to this category. Initiation, 30% of the human population. And the sheep, her mentality, 70, the larger batch of humans. So do you see what I'm saying? There are 3 different categories of human evolution dispersed into 5 types of human groups. Okay? Is this making sense? I'm going to pause here and look at some of your questions. I know some of you have to go to work. I hope I'm not taking too long, but you know how I do. Okay? And any question? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Love you more, love you back. Uh-huh. No moderator, thank you. I'm trying to read that, can't. Do you think all people have soul? No. Not all humans have a soul. You could lose your soul. The way you do that is by being very, very evil, very, very wicked. If you have no soul. So yeah, that is a possibility. The ego could be so evil, that it could corrupt the soul and the spirit. And I'm going to do another video breaking down the soul, the ego, and the spirit. I have to continue doing that so you can see that there is a difference between the three. The one that's the fake, the false self, the lower self, is of course the ego. The true self is spirit, and God is the soul, which is the real you. The Godity, as they call it. Now, like I said, in the third level of initiation is where you have your elites, the young ones, the wealthy and powerful with money, and are able to enter secret society groups. Not just as a silent member taking a seat, but as someone that could be one of the 12 elders of the round table leading the organization. You could be the one that can set the policies and orders that is going to govern the order. More so towards the tail end of the third level. Now, when you reach adepthood, now you are a magician. Now you can wear your regalia, have your wand, have your chalice. You'll see my chalice, the wand, the pentacle, and the sword, or the athame, which is used in witchcraft and occult groups like Wicca, powwow. I have them right there. I'm Dominican, I'm Latin, but not really because of the Latin, more because of the African influence in me and where my origins come from, will determine what type of orishas or what type of spiritual companions I'm going to be born with that are going to give me the knowledge that I give you over on YouTube. You think I did this on my own? Or I generate? Yeah. Now, they show me where I can get the books and the knowledge. But then there's other stuff that's not in these books that they tell me. Like they show me the vision of how life was like. No, what happened? No. Those impressions you cannot get in a book. And when you write a documented account or event, it changes as it passes from one hand to another. It gets watered down or it gets exaggerated. Because you have to add that element too. So it gets pretty complex, and the life can be conflicting. Are you going to go spiritual, or are you going to go into the world and be a part of the world? Because once you make that step out of it, there is no coming back. And if you try it, you'll be rejected because there's a change. Initiation requires that you get a cloak, another layer, but this layer is a divine layer that separates you from the animal-like acting humans and those who are brand new coming to social experiences, and then those in between. And these are different psychologies and modalities of being and existing that defines the level that you're in the evolution of spirit. The 1970s, the age of the serial killers, Pluto in Libra. Okay. Then you have the last category. The last category is adepthood. Like I said, here you are a magician. Here you don't belong to the herd and you don't belong to the initiate. You are now close to God in power and in might. Everything and anything that God stands for, now you are becoming. So when you reach adepthood, after this, being God is next. But there are many levels of gods too, and categories. So it's like a never-ending churn of evolution that's going to take us somewhere, but we still, even us adepts, don't know what, where, what's it for, where we're heading. Like Star Trek, we just keep going. But where are we going, Captain Kirk? I don't know. Wherever the stars tell us. That, if you see the ending of Star Trek, go ahead, Captain. Take us over there, that way. And that really is, life is. We're heading a direction, but we don't know what direction we're heading. But in the meantime, we can enjoy the journey there, wherever there is. And that's the continuum of the soap opera that we call life. Which one are you? Are you a sheep, an initiate, or like me, an adept? Look at Oprah Winfrey in my entry, Oprah Winfrey, and read there the different categories of humans. There are 5, and how they fit into this paradigm I just described. Does that make sense? A lot of you are talking other stuff, so maybe this might not be such an interesting topic, but you need to know that. You need to know it. Any question? Yes, the matrix, right. Right, take control of the matrix. Well, before you take control of the matrix, you got to take control of your matrix. And the best way to do that is that birth chart. It really is. I touched the wrong button. Took the music right out. Them little stinkers. Okay, what else do we have? Yes, it is interesting. Okay, good, because I want you to know what category of a human being you are, number 1, and where are you in the level of evolution? Are you a sheep, an initiate, or an adept? If you can identify that, then you are either an initiate or an adepthood. I don't believe any one of you, all my 49K subscribers are sheep, none of you. I'm telling you, if you were, you would not be on my channel. You will not find this interesting. If anything, you'll find me weird, crazy, and be scared of me. Because that is the reaction that you get from the sheep. How do we know when we have completed the initiation stage? You're like me, a magician. A magician. Or a person who's deep in meditation that can move objects. You see those people that can move objects by looking at it? You must have seen, I've seen people that can move things with their eyes. It's fierce. Those are adepts. I've seen a guy turn water into wine, just like Jesus did. Nothing is new under the sun, guys. It's all been here before. This is just the first time that we're hearing about it since the deluge destroyed the last world. We get a jump starting humanity every time there is a cataclysm and we start back from square one. And the extraterrestrials come and jumpstart civilization for us when these things happen, and we go back to square one. Think about it. It's deep. Oh. Ay. What back? Okay, let's see. How can I use my superiority to overcome addiction? Well, how do you think you can use it? That's something that you have to figure out on your own. Because spirituality is defined differently by everybody. Okay? It's a different Very, very different. But I'll try to answer it. First of all, you need to feel comfortable with the spirituality that you choose. And you have to believe that it's going to be there for you. And then test it out and see what it does for you. Jupiter and Scorpio, a great fortune in business or great businessman. I believe P. Diddy has Jupiter in Scorpio. Okay. DMX certainly did, which was why he was so wealthy. Let's see. Fasting, I run and row. Stop doing drugs. Good for you. Jupiter in Aries makes you resourceful, quite resourceful. What does it mean to have Aquarius Neptune in the first house? It means that you are psychic and a visionary. And you could be also an astrologer. That's a great position for astrologers. And you can be clairvoyant. Okay, what about born with many, what? With many what? Born with many what? That Phillies. If you're born with a lot of retrogrades in the birth chart, then your life will start out late. Or you'll get what you want out of life, but much later than you want or anticipated. Planets that are retrograde are acting as timers to something. Whatever it is, it's in the birth chart. Thank you for enjoying my videos. Life Path 7 here. Mars in Scorpio. Mars is in its fall in Cancer. And detriment. No. Where's your Mars? Scorpio. It's intense. It makes you suspicious and people treat you with contempt. They don't trust you. You seem non-trustworthy and secretive. And you make people uncomfortable just by being around them. Mars in Scorpio. Que buena, que buena, que buena, que buena, que buena son las mujeres. That's it. Right. Jupiter in Cancer in the 6th house. I know, I hate it too. Neptune in the 1st house. Psychic. Mars in Sagittarius. You are a dreamer and a traveler in your mind and on an actual plane. Like me. I travel in my mind and physically. Meaning of Ketu in 7th house, Taurus. Meaning Ketu. Rahu and Ketu. Rahu is the north node and Ketu is the south node in Taurus. You probably have money or material resources with Taurus, the sign of money. And you know who you are, the Taurus with self-esteem, self-worth. And now you're using that to launch yourself into the world. The north node, Rahu in Scorpio. Stellium in the 8th and 7th. You are going to be concerned with other people's monies and other people's resources. You will probably marry someone with a lot of resources or end up inheriting him if he dies. Mars in Aries in the 2nd house. Mars in Aries in the 2nd house. You are definitely an entrepreneur. You call the shots and you make your own money. If you got Mars in Aries and you have it in the 2nd house, working for somebody else may be an impossibility. An impossibility. You have to have your own thing, do your own thing. Life path number 9, you're here to educate. Educate on a spiritual, ecclesiastical level. And that could be done through teaching, lecturing, or writing books. Stellium in the 12th house. I have a stellium in the 12th house. Virgo, Saturn, Mars, Saturn, Mars. Let's see. It went too quick. Here you go. Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter. Well, if you have Saturn in the 12th house, you got father issues. And you got issues with authority. Jupiter here means that you've squandered many things in your past life. You've got a lot of luck, and you've squandered it, taken it for granted. And Mars in the 12th house means that you've come from many lifetimes where you don't act. People might think you're a pushover, a wimp, a doormat, and you don't come with much of a vibrato. You retreat instead of being forward. Your strength lies behind the scenes, not in the front. Right? The beat. Okay. All right. Guys, we're done. At 1:10, I will try to do another video for you. Ooh. And see if I gotta see what to do next for you guys that could be a little bit more revealing. But I don't think they're gonna want me to do much than what I just gave you. So we are going to also do the gay, lesbian, and gay, but you know, I'm doing research and meditating on it because I have to be very, very careful with this one. It's so politically infused, so I gotta be careful with this one. That's why I'm taking my time with that one. Ooh. Guys, please donate 347-485-6258 at Zelly or www.me/Keisha Farmer. Guys, que soledad. All right. Oh, wait. The beat. Ríe tormento, mamita linda. Here we go. See that? It makes you like, you don't see that? All right.